Alrighty, hello again, math magicians. Here is part 2 of your notes, lesson 7.1. We can finally now get to polynomials. In part 1, we only had time to discuss monomials. Now we are actually going to dig into what is a polynomial. So first of all, the definition. A polynomial is a monomial. It's a monomial, or it's a sum of monomials. So it's a monomial. It could be a monomial. You could call it a polynomial, but if it's a monomial, we usually say monomial. Or it could be the sum of monomials. Remember, sum means add, right? So you could take a bunch of monomials and add them together, and then you would call it a polynomial. All right? Okay, so let's just kind of talk about that a little bit. So a polynomial could be a monomial. It could be a binomial. It could be a trinomial. Or you could just say polynomial. All right? So a monomial we talked about in part 1. So some examples of monomials might be like 7 or x or 3x squared y. Okay, those are monomials. There's just one term. That's a monomial. That's a monomial. Now a binomial, bi means two, right? So a binomial, you're going to take two monomials and add them together. So you might write 3x squared y plus 7. Now that's a binomial because there are two monomials added together. That's what sum means. You could have a trinomial. Tri is 3, right? Tri means 3. So a trinomial would have 3 monomials added together. It could also be subtracted because remember, subtraction, you could add the opposite. So a trinomial might be 3x squared y plus x minus 7. That's a trinomial. Okay, that whole thing is a trinomial because there's one term, 2, 3. 3 means tri, 3's tri, and they're separated by addition or even subtraction, because you can change subtraction, remember, to add the opposite, right? Add the opposite. And then if it has more than 3 terms, you just call it a polynomial. Poly means many. All right? Let's keep going. Okay, another thing about polynomials, so we'll call this E, is that you have to write them in a certain order. And the order that you write them, you have to make the exponents of the variables go in decreasing order. So the exponents of the variables, are going to decrease. They're going to decrease as you go from left to right. All right, so that's the order that you have to put it in. And we'll get better at that. All right, and then the last thing is that you can also find the degree of the polynomial. All right, so degree of a polynomial. Now the degree of a polynomial is found differently than the degree of a monomial. Okay, so degree of polynomial is the greatest degree of its monomials. The greatest degree of its monomials. Okay? So it's the greatest degree of its monomials. All right, let's look at an example. Let's say you had 20 x to the 5th y squared minus 8 x to the 3rd y plus x squared plus 10x minus 12. Okay, this is a polynomial. Poly. It has one term, which is one monomial, two monomials, three monomials, four monomials, five. So this is a poly. Okay, monomials are separated. The monomials, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, are separated by either subtraction or addition. All right, now you find the degree of each monomial. This one would have a degree of 7, because 5 plus 2 is 7. The second monomial would have a degree of 4, because 3 plus 1 is 4. The third one has a degree of 2. The fourth one has a degree of 1. And the fifth monomial has a degree of 0. The degree of the whole thing, the whole polynomial, the whole thing, the degree is 7. Why did I pick 7? Because 7 is the highest monomial degree. It's the greatest degree of the monomials. All right, just one more thing. All right, the last thing we're going to do is a classification chart. And hopefully this helps kind of summarize everything. Okay, so a classification chart. All right, I'm going to give you an expression. We're going to decide whether or not it's a polynomial. So is it going to be a polynomial? If it is, we'll classify it by the number of terms. And then we'll also classify it by the degree. All right, so the first example, let's go with 3x squared plus x minus 7. All right, the first question, is this a polynomial? Yes, it is. 1, 2, 3 terms. 1, 2, 3, separated by a plus sign and a minus sign. So yes, this is a polynomial. It has 3 terms, so we'll call it a trinomial. And the degree would be the highest monomial. So this one has a degree of 2, degree of 1, degree of 0. So the highest degree would be 2. All right, let's do another example, 14. Is this a polynomial? Yes, it is. Yes, that's a polynomial. It only has 1 term, so we would call that a monomial. And it has a degree of 0 because the exponent there is no exponent. All right. All right, let's go with 12n to the 4th. 12n to the 4th minus 9 to the n. Is that a polynomial? Nope, 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 nope. That is not a polynomial because you're not allowed to have a variable exponent. So that's no. I can write that a little neater. All right, let's go with x to the negative 9th minus 7. Is that a polynomial? No, it is not a polynomial. You cannot have a negative exponent. And let's go with 4b to the 5th c to the third plus 7bc squared. Is this a polynomial? Yes, it is. It has two things separated by a plus sign, so that's two monomials. 2 makes it a binomial. And the degree? Well, this one has a degree of 8 because 5 plus 3 is 8. This one has a degree of 3, 2 plus 1. 2 plus 1 is 3. Well, 8 is higher than 3, so the degree is 8. All right, I hope this is helpful. Good luck with your homework. Remember, you can re-watch this video or rewind anything. Good luck.